You have fond memories of Friendly's? Maybe it was the big beef cheeseburger, the Friendly's Fribble, the Conehead Sundae, or the watermelon roll. I love the watermelon roll. So many of us in Connecticut associate Friendly's with our childhoods. Here to talk about the future of the restaurant is a man who started with the company as a teenager and just last month took ownership of the Friendly's brand. We welcome Amol Kohli to the program. Amol, thank you so much for being with us. So let's just start with your personal story, because there's a lot to talk about here. Everybody loves Friendly's in Connecticut, but you started out serving breakfast there when you were 15, and now you're the chairman of the company that owns the whole brand. Tell us your story.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us, and thanks for the interest in the story. So that's essentially it. Grew up first generation immigrant kid. Was just trying to find a little job. When I was younger in my teens, and I was working in an assisted living home prior, and a Friendly's had opened up in town, as they normally would back in early 2000, right? And we, rushed over there with a couple of buddies from the assisted living home and applied for a job, and got hired in as a breakfast waiter. And it's been an unbelievable ride ever since, to say the least. But yeah, started there mid-teens, and kind of worked my way through like most people do in restaurants. Worked kind of every position, and said thank you on my way out going to college. But then some opportunities had arisen through college where I had an opportunity to come back and work for the brand, and it kind of just evolved from there. We're happy to take some questions to dial in, and I'll go which direction you want me to go on these.
Yeah, well, I wonder, as you talk to people now being in this leadership role, when you say, listen, I was taking orders for, 2 eggs over easy back in the day. Does it give you some credibility to sort of understand what's really happening in the restaurants, and can you play on that with your folks? Is that important?
I don't think it does anything but give credibility, not just to myself, but my entire executive team we're frontline workers in the restaurants. Every single one of us knows how to open a shift. We know how to clean a soft serve machine when we used to sell soft serve. We know how to build a big to-do. We know how to build a honey melt. It builds credibility because you're never going to implement something that you would not want your team to do. It also built muscle memory for us. Right? You walk into a restaurant, you can feel the tension, you can feel the issues going on. We are a worker first organization. And I'm proud of that, actually.
So tell me about, you mentioned, back when you started, Friendly's were opening up. So many times now we see, over the last maybe 10 years or so, we've seen Friendly's closing down in many communities, and fewer to go to. So this is so much a part. If you're a New England kid or a Connecticut kid or, someone, in our age group, this was a big part of the childhood. So where is that going moving forward? Are we going to see more Friendly's? What should we expect in the future?
So that's a great question. Number one, Friendly's has been around 90 years, right? I think it's one of the oldest iconic American restaurant brands in the country. That's something to be proud of. One of the Blake brothers was a veteran, served in the U.S. Army in World War II. They were family-oriented, farm-to-table inspired. We used to bring the cows in from the Wilbraham farms to milk them at the creamery. The stories are incredible. But, like all things that turn 90, you get your ups and downs. What I can tell you is the brand is definitely going to be seeing development. One of the things that was shocking for me, being with the company almost 18, 19 years, maybe more, I did not fully understand the value of Friendly's until I became a father. Until I had a 1-year-old, and now my daughter's 3, my son is 1, and having that place to go to feel disarmed as a parent. Where can I go where I'm not going to have to stress about my dining experience? And that's us. Friendly's is the place to go. You don't got to worry about alcohol. You don't got to worry about riffraff. We are a place for family first, grandparents, seniors alike. And we saw a huge resurgence when we built our new restaurant in Orlando at Disney last year that reopened, which we saw a tremendous response. People were driving 5-6 hours with coolers to take black raspberry home. It was just unbelievable. So to me, there are fewer and fewer, but I think what you're going to see is that with the roughly 100 we have now, you're going to see them continue to grow. We've had new franchisees come into the system over the years, new blood. We've had legacy folks, which even though I'm not the oldest, I've got some tenure in me, that are kind of ranking and filing through. And we're excited about the team we have. Most importantly, the Bricks team has been just tremendous. John Antioco, Sharif Mityas, the entire team there has just done an unbelievable job in repositioning us for growth. And so we're excited about it.
Well, and
and we're excited about giving cone heads to all the kids out there, you know?
I said, send one my way if you're doing that. The Bricks, you mentioned the Bricks team. That's the company that is the parent company that you just became the chairman of. And there's other brands under that umbrella. But I wonder from your story, if somebody's watching this, and maybe obviously not doing exactly what you did, but is there a lesson to be learned here in the path that you took as an immigrant kid getting to this position? If somebody's watching on this Sunday morning?
Yeah, what I will tell you is that, you know, you got to stick your hand up. You got to raise your hand, and you got to be confident, and you got to seek out those who you believe you want to aspire to be like. And one of the people I used to admire a lot, people when I was in the restaurant, was the owners. The owners would come in, but you had to, you know, make sure you looked good, make sure you were shaved, you said hello, firm handshake. You have to make yourself available to let people know you're willing to learn and grow. I never thought in a million years that I would end up to this level. That's God's will, in my opinion. But I'll tell you that at the end of the day, the only way I got there was just through consistent hard work and showing up. You know, and if you're consistent about things, things can come your way. But to those who are looking in the industry right now, trying to figure out where to go. We all started from literally the front lines. I mean, my COO, my EVPs, my CEOs, these were all fountain workers and cooks, and the wonderful folks that run my support center were general managers. I mean, this is one of the few businesses in the world that if you push at it, you can climb. And I think it's a blessing. I think it's great. So
only about 30 seconds left, but let's do a little Friendly's nostalgia here. I mean, what are the items that you think are just iconic from Friendly's that you just want to talk about real quick? Make it.
So obviously the Fribble is one of the best kind of staples for us. Our fish and majig has gone back for, I think we've served probably millions of those over the years. More recently, though, when we launched our honey barbecue super melt, that's our #1 super melt, one of the best lines we've had with the loaded waffle fries. And then who can forget the Jim Dandy, right? Like, you know, the chocolate vanilla strawberry, the marshmallow topping, the chocolate sauce, the strawberry sauce, the nuts, the sprinkles, the cherry, you know, and I know that because I used to serve, right? I mean, I can't make it up. These are just some of the funnest parts. And the cone head, right? Yep. You get to the bottom and you get the Reese's Pieces. So I love watching my kids explore it, you know, because I used to do it with my father and my mother, you know, it's amazing.
I have to leave it there. We're all out of time. Also, I'm starving after that description. Amol Kohli, thank you so much for that. Best of luck. Hopefully we'll have you back. Thanks for being with us.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much.